And that piece of genius is, of course, Mike the Miz, the A-lister.
Don't tell me you've never been in that situation before. Your wife, wants to spend her time with her, but you've got a big deal, big trade that needs to be done right then and there, and you kind of just maneuver.
1,000%. The only two differences between me and you, and that's because I've done exactly that. I've done all those things to try to get some alone time to try to distract my wife while I do a fantasy football trade or waiver wire pickup or lineup setting. The only difference is there haven't been cameras on me, and my wife can't kick my butt. I'm pretty sure your wife can kick my butt.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She's one of the longest reigning women's champions in WWE history.
She is a superstar, as are you, my friend. You're the first ever two-time WWE Grand Slam champion. And you are here because we want to talk about the fact that the road to WrestleMania begins at Royal Rumble. 30 men, 30 women competing for championship matches at WrestleMania. So we want you to watch Royal Rumble this Saturday live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And every WWE premium live event is only right here on Peacock. And so, Miz, let's talk right now about that's a clip from your show, Miz and Mrs., which is on USA Network, right?
Yes.
I think the two important questions, I think, off that clip. Number one is, do you remember what the trade was?
Jonathan Taylor. I would get Jonathan Taylor, and I believe I was trading nothing, like literally like bench people for Jonathan Taylor. And it was when Jonathan Taylor's, that was his year. It was like, oh yes, it wasn't last year. It was the year before that. And so it's when you wanted Jonathan Taylor, and it sent me to, I didn't win the league, but I got in second place. So it was I was the first loser, which I always can't stand, because there's this one league I call the Awesome Fantasy Football League where you could win the George. And the George is our fantasy championship. It has my dad's face on it. That's why it's called the George. His name is George, which you could see on Ms. and Mrs. He's on all over the show. But I want to win this title so badly, but I can never win it because this league is so tough. And this year I thought I was actually going to get it because I had Jonathan Taylor as a keeper, Javonte Williams as a keeper. I thought Michael Pittman was going to do something because at the beginning of the year, everyone was like, Matt Ryan, oh, he's going to be his Julio Jones. Oh, this is going to be great. And then I had Travis Kelce as my tight end, and everything went to hell because everyone got injured. I had to make trades, finagle things, did terrible in that league. But I did win my Allison Chains and Friends League, which it was for charity. We all play for Connor's Cure. We donate something and then we put it up for auction. And this year I actually won, and my quarterback actually went down. It was Jalen Hurts went down, and I had to pick up someone. So who did you pick up? Danny Dimes. And Danny Dimes got me like 50 points in my championship. So I was pretty stoked. And now all the money and all the proceeds that we raise are going to Connor's Cure, which is to raise money for pediatric cancer.
Which is an amazing thing. I've played in the Allison Chains Charity League before as well. Those guys are great guys, and they do a great job with it. So congratulations on that championship right there. My other question about the clip was, and then we'll get back to your fantasy nerddom, which is really what it is. But my question about that is, so the trade was for Jonathan Taylor. Did you eventually that night end up getting naked with your wife? Were you able to talk your way into that? You're a pretty charming guy.
My way. Let me tell you something, Matt. Something about me, okay?
Sure.
When I have a goal and I have set out on that goal, I achieve that goal. So even though she gets a little upset about she can't stand, by the way, my fantasy football, because I'm in like 5 leagues and I'm dedicated. I'm motivated. I'm listening to your show all the time, which, sorry to say, my wife isn't a big fan because she does not like football at all. Like my wife, if I'm watching football, she's like changing it to a cartoon so my daughters can watch the cartoon. And so I have to go to another room to watch it. So, but I'm able to finagle things. And I finagle my way into my wife, I guess you can say. I don't know if you can say that.
It's Peacock. I'm sure it's fine.
It's fine, right?
It's totally good. Everything goes on Peacock. But what I was going to say is, clearly to anyone watching that may not know, people that are just fans of you from whether it's Ms. and Mrs. or whether it's from wrestling, they may not know that, you're one of us. We were talking, this is a true story. We were like, hey, we've got the Miz on. We're going to promote Royal Rumble. We were thinking we could ask him about this match. And I'm like, guys, Like, I've known Miz, like, you and I have never met, but we follow each other on social media, and I'm like, Miz is a hardcore fantasy player. Like, the interview can just, I promise you, we could just talk fantasy football, and Miz will be be absolutely fine on this as well. So, which one you're in 5 leagues? I know you already mentioned the Alice in Chains League, so you're probably in some celebrity leagues. So, do me a favor. What's the most important league to you? And then name drop. Who's the most famous person that you play with in another league? Because I know you're a superstar. You get invited into a lot of these celebrity leagues.
Oh man, I mean, so my most important league, obviously, it's hard to say because the one I'm most dedicated to is the one from my back home in Parma, Ohio. It's with all my friends from Cleveland. I've known them since we were kids. We've played since we were kids, and we're still playing to this day, and it keeps us attached. Like, I live in Los Angeles now. They all live in Cleveland, and we all just live different lives, but fantasy football allows us to still have that common ground, that conversations that we still have since we were kids, and just a lot of smack talking. You can win the George, but then there's my other leagues that every other league I'm in, I could win charity. Like, it's for charity. It's for Connor's Cure. It's for pediatric cancer. And so I'm always dedicated and motivated for those. The NFFC league that I was in this year, I tried to draft very differently in every league. So I'm not put with the same type of team, because if I mess up, and which I did in my Awesome Fantasy Football League, because I went running backs, and I don't think this year was a running back type of draft. Like, I went really weird with my NFFC because a lot of people go for wide receivers, so I kind of did that plan, and I ended up with like Jamar Chase. I ended up with Kelsey, Waddle, and my running backs were like Damian Harris. And then I had Breece Hall, who I thought was going to shine out, and he was. And then all of a sudden he gets injured, and then just injury after injury after injury. Like, if you can get rid of the injury bug, you can win your league. And then having Burrow in like 90% of my leagues, because Burrow went probably 7th round, 7th, 8th round in my leagues. And Burrow was like top 5 every single week. He's been dominant. And you just look at this guy and you're like, is he the next coming of Brady? I don't think so. I think he's going to be one step up from Brady, because I believe he was younger as he first came in, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. No, I think, look, Burrow's going to be awesome, and in fact, the NFFC, which you mentioned, is a large, high-stakes tournament, and so you always want to try to kind of zig where other people are zagging, because just sort of going by normal ADP tends not to win those kind of large tournament leagues. So I think
it's so hard. It's so difficult because everyone is so knowledgeable, but yes. I actually did really well. I think I got like top 3 get to go to the next round or something like that, and I got 4th. Which I got so many injuries, and it's so hard on the waiver wire with these leagues because there's no trading. And I love to trade. That's one of my favorite things to do, is just trade. And I guess you could say murder people because they think they're getting a great trade and they're not. Like this year, I made one trade that I was like, I needed running backs. So I traded Kelsey for Etienne, Pickens, and Dallas Goedert. And this was before Dallas Goedert got injured. Right. And so I was like, I'm in the money. And not only that, it was a keeper league. So I get a Etienne as like a 12th round keeper. So I was like, I'm dominant. And then it just, Kelsey's Kelsey. Kelsey is who he is. And I think every year I'm just going to get Kelsey in the 1st or 2nd round from now on.
Yeah, well, at some point he's going to hit the wall, but it doesn't look like it's going to be anytime soon. He was 100
even when he
points
hits the wall, though, this guy is so knowledgeable. Like, do you listen to his interviews? Some of the things that he knows, a tight end shouldn't know. This is what a quarterback should know. So even if he does slow down, I think he's going to be able to find the open spaces because he's that smart.
Well, and he's with the right quarterback and the right coach to be able to help him do that. So there's no question about that. Miz, let's talk about this in terms of fantasy football. Like you talked about you being trading. I would not want to trade with you because I'd be like, what? Miz is going to kick my ass if I, you're both sharp in the ring and in fantasy football here. Do you play in any leagues with any other WWE superstars?
Seth Rollins is in another league with me. In my Alice in Chains and Friends League, it's Mike Inez and Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains, Jeff Garland, James Roday, Michael Bublé, Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses. So, you got a bunch of people. Then Seth Rollins I play with. And we're always talking fantasy football. Like in the locker room, like a lot of the guys play fantasy football because honestly, it's one of those things that it gets you even more involved. Like I can't stand when a football player goes, I don't even watch fantasy. I don't care. It's like the go-to thing, but don't they realize that the reason a lot of people watch football is because of their team? And the reason they're not just cheering for the reason I'm not just cheering for the Cleveland Browns, but I'm cheering for other players and invested in other players is because of fantasy football. So I think everyone needs to start more appreciating in interviews. Like I love Austin Eckler. I'm actually in a league with Austin Eckler. And I was like, this is great. He should be in a league. More people should be in a league. And he didn't even get himself, by the way, in the league because everyone took him. He was like the third pick, and he traded up to go to the second pick, and the first pick was Austin Eckler, which was a great pick this year.
Yes, it was. We actually had Austin on this show as well, and he told that story as well, which is awesome.
Isn't he great?
Don't let Austin Eckler get Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler's too good. Austin Eckler's too good. Like, you know what? Josh Kelly can draft himself. But yeah, Austin Eckler doesn't get to draft himself. Hey, let's talk Royal Rumble here for a second. So I noticed, you're a massive champion, and yet I noticed you're not on the lineup. Is there a chance we could still see you at Royal Rumble? Miz, what's going on? The fans want what the fans want.
The Royal Rumble is my favorite match. If you've never seen a WWE show, a WWE match, you don't know what it is, what it's like, this is the show to watch. Royal Rumble, as a child, was my favorite. It got me hook, line, and sinker. 30 superstars. 2 superstars start in the ring. And then a minute and a half goes by, another superstar enters. Then another minute and a half goes by, another superstar enters until all 30 are in the ring. Now, those superstars that are in the ring are trying to throw each other over the top rope. So the first superstars, you could be in the ring for 3 seconds, or you could be in the ring for like an hour. Like I've had both. I've had both where I've been in the ring where I literally ran out and literally got thrown out right away. And I've also been the first person to be in and literally go through all 30 and just make it to the end and not quite end up being the champ. I've never won the Royal Rumble. It's one match that I have always wanted to win because it was my favorite as a child. It's my favorite premium live event that WWE has. It's full of surprises. It's action-packed, and it's very difficult, and it's the road to WrestleMania. This starts all the programs that is going to happen to our Super Bowl, which is WrestleMania. And this year, it's at SoFi Stadium, 2 nights, April 1st and April 2nd, Saturday and Sunday. It's so big that you couldn't just hold it in one night. So it's definitely intriguing. It's engaging. It's fun. And the crowd is so interactive. Love seeing them back, cheering who they love, booing who they hate. They always kind of boo me, but that's quite all right. So as far as Royal Rumble's concerned, for me and my career, I definitely want to be a part of it, but I'm not going to reveal any secrets. The reason being is I like the element of surprise. Yeah. I'm going to surprise my competitors.
Listen, I think it's going to be awesome. As you mentioned, the road to WrestleMania begins at Royal Rumble. 30 men, 30 women competing for championship matches at WrestleMania. Be sure to watch Royal Rumble this Saturday live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and every WWE Premium Live event, of course, is only on Peacock. Mike, we will follow you on Twitter at Mike the Miz. We will check out Miz and Mrs. on USA Network. And listen, next year, you've never slid into my DMs. Let me hook you up. Matt Camp told me earlier this week that he's been giving you some bad advice. So,
oh my God. I said Javonte Williams was going to be the man, and he told me he was going to stink, and the Denver Broncos were going to stink. And this was when I was like, they got Russell Wilson. They're going to be amazing. They're going to be incredible. Their defense is going to be stacked. And then he was right. And I'm so aggravated by that because I don't like it when Matt Camp is right, ever.
Awesome. Well, listen, next year we will definitely have you back. We'll talk Browns and fantasy. Thank you, Miz. Good luck if you do wind up at Royal Rumble this weekend. We'll be back right after this. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and RotoWorld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from RotoWorld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.